the circus we are in, the crazy circus, and a world where things that need to be valued are not. The world of freaks, where economic growth is placed above the very earth that we need to survive, where people greet you with love and light whilst hating their fellow human because of the colour of their skin. A world where the very people we trust will support us are the very people with a knee on our necks, of our hidden evil shadows, of the fact that my black and brown sisters cannot send their children out of the house without first giving them a talk about how to survive. My mother's heart breaks for that, and it needs to change. And this is a deck with no diversity in at all. It's a deck that I opened, and I loved the beautiful artwork and the imagery, but it's all white skins yet again. And I just thought about the circus that we've created, where that's okay. And I wanted to pull some cards about the circus that we're in, the jokes that we've become, what needs to be seen, what we need to do. It's going to take more than reading tarot cards. It takes being vulnerable. It takes listening. It takes being uncomfortable, because how dare we not want to become uncomfortable when there are mothers that can't send their children out without fear of them not coming back. And as you can tell, I'm fighting back tears thinking about that. I watched Queen Auset's video about I Am a Mother, and I'll link it below. And all day long I've cried every time I've thought of it. I have 3 children myself who I adore. My youngest is a boy, and he is my very heart itself. And I challenge you to listen to Queen Auset's words and not cry all day. Grabbing, wanting it all, wanting it all, wanting the pops all lined up in a row. No naughty pop is there. Wanting it easy, wanting the rainbow. But now we need some strength to find some justice. Underlying it, the Ace of Coins, new beginnings to get to business, to bring in wealth for us all. This is a white man in this ticket booth. He's the gatekeeper. You don't get past the ticket man without a ticket. And he wants it all. He's got all the power. He's the gatekeeper. But we're starting a new business. We are starting a new business where it takes very little to get in. It takes one tiny coin. It takes it just takes the humanity of us all to let everybody in, to stop gatekeeping, to stop grabbing. And I am going to use one of these from our lack of diversity oracle, that is going to be put to work now to speak up for itself, to give us some clarity for this reading. Oh, dark Harlequin. The dark Harlequin. The darkness in ourselves, the racism inherent in all of us, being raised in a world where intelligent white women like me could get to 51 before she spends a day crying about black mothers' fear. That's racism inbuilt. That's a lifetime of looking away under the guise of, but I'm not racist. And knowing that, you know, my very core has believed that, but why have I not cried before? Why have I as an intelligent woman not addressed this before? The dark Harlequin came out. It's being uncovered in us all, and we need to shut up and listen, and we need to allow people to be angry at us. Queen Auset set us some homework to do, which I am currently waiting on books to arrive, and I am willing to listen. I am wanting to listen. I am ashamed that I haven't listened before. Bells are ringing from deep inside. This is what the book says about dark Harlequin. Bells are ringing from deep inside. Something that once had to hide is seeking your attention. It wants out. It wants to be free. As you release what was once shut away, your discomfort shall turn to glee. You are at the point of not knowing because you are growing. And isn't that the point? We have to admit that we don't know. We don't know what to say. That's the right thing to say. We just don't know. We don't know about other people's truth of their experiences. Like, we can't feel what that feels like. I have a tiny window into this as a carer of a disabled child, with services being cut left, right and centre. The only support I've had at all in the last few years with 24-hour-a-day caring was one visit by social services where she opened the door and said, the only reason I'm here is to see if I can take money away from you. Money of which now I have none coming in. That's the only tiny window I have into that feeling of invisibility. But at least my kids don't go out the door with the fear of them not coming home again. So we are at the point of not knowing. We need to admit that. There will be surprises, the book says. There will be discoveries. Well, I hope to God there is. You'll feel awkward at times, like you are trying to see in the dark. Well, I've already felt that awkwardness because you can feel the anger coming in at you, and it does make you feel awkward because we've been so cushioned and protected as a race, and we're not used to it, are we? And it's shocking how shocking it is, and it's telling that it's not in our history that we're used to feeling uncomfortable. You'll wonder if you are supposed to be so confused, if you're supposed to feel like you aren't sure who you are anymore, or even if the things that once made sense in your life are supposed to seem so fragile, as though life once thought rock solid actually turns out to be a house of cards. The answer, of course, is yes. Yes, it is a royally divine mess. Now, this I'm reading straight out of the guidebook. It's the first time I've opened this guidebook. Fragility. I've just 10 minutes ago ordered in amongst a sea of books on this issue. I've also ordered a book called White Fragility, because it isn't up to anybody to spoon feed me the answers to this. There needs to be work, and it's so funny that this this deck that I'm demanding now, it makes up for its lack of diversity by giving me some answers, should pose the question, are you supposed to seem so fragile? And it's a royal divine mess, because it is. It's a screwed up world. Don't be afraid to let there be some inner rattling and rampaging. The Dark Harlequin card comes to you at a time when you are naturally diving into the darkness for a healing purpose. And can we all hold on to the fact that this is not only a collective healing and a personal healing of our own darkness, but the most important thing, it's a healing of lives of people whose reality we can't fathom, of mothers who don't know if their kids are going to come home again. And it's not like, are they going to be at risk from the villains of this world, but the very people that are supposed to protect them. So the book carries on. Ask the difficult questions. Do things you wouldn't normally do. Experiment with thinking in ways you wouldn't normally think. Oh gosh, this reading. Be willing to let everything change for the better by first letting go of how things are now. The messier your inner world seems to be right now, the more you can expect complete and utter transformation as a new order comes into form. Oh my gosh. The last video I uploaded, which was the Mystic Healing greeting cards, I spoke about a new order in the card I pulled there with the black and white magpie on. There is a lot of synchronicities here, guys. Expect the unexpected, for you were born to grow into what is happening now. It's time to let the wild thing within out. Right. There's a declaration for the Dark Harlequin. It says, Dark Harlequin of wisdom and grace, of unconditional love, help me now be open to grow into all I can be. Help me liberate the wildness within me, for in the shadow of my hidden self there is something beautiful that wants to be freed. That's the healing trick of the Dark Harlequin. And I feel that we've been given a call to action, and we need to step up. If we have decks like these that are undiverse, we need to demand that they work for us, or we need to set them aside. We need to feel the beating of a mother's heart that doesn't know how to protect her children. And I have no answers apart from the fact that we do what we can do. This morning I looked through this deck and I just felt a real pull to switch my phone on and use the 2 circus decks to try and give me some idea of what to do about this frigging circus of the world that it is at the minute. The fact it doesn't make any sense. And I know that it might look really flippant to be throwing cards down for such a big topic. And I know that it's going to make people uncomfortable, and you know, there'll probably be backlash, but there gets to a point where if you don't know what to do, you just do the next thing and you try, and if you get it wrong, you listen to the people who are telling you you've got it wrong. But I suppose it's being prepared to listen. So that's it, guys. A very teary reading that I just felt compelled to come on and do. And please go watch the live stream and the videos that I'm linking down below. Thanks, guys.